Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
You know, sometimes when I finished watching 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours of SmackDown, and then 3 hours of a WWE pay-per-view, I find myself thinking, man, I really wish there was more WWE wrestling to watch. 10 hours a week just isn't enough. Well, lucky old me, because it's being reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Triple H is currently trying to find a way to implement some type of a show that would get more NXT talent, ring time, and exposure. They aren't going to do house shows, but they may add something in some form. Wait, isn't that what main event is? Now, it's definitely a good thing that stars who struggle to feature on TV might get more ring time, but you can't help but think of all the money WWE claimed it needed to save earlier this year, which led to a reported 40% of its workforce being released or furloughed. New shows cost a lot of money, but with nearly $1 billion of profit expected in 2020, I'm sure they'll find a few pennies to spare. They'll just be hoping that there aren't too many more lawsuits like this one. A few months ago, you may remember that the City of Warren Police and Fire Retirement System accused WWE executives of deceiving investors regarding its dealings with Saudi Arabia. The lawsuit alleged that WWE execs artificially inflated their stock and that senior executives sold more than $280 million of their shares at fraud-inflated prices. As part of the lawsuit, it was alleged that WWE did not disclose failed negotiations with the Saudi government over their TV deal, and that WWE was not able to expand in that region despite claiming otherwise. WWE has now paid $39 million out of court to settle the lawsuit and released a statement which read, "The company believes that resolving the matter is the right business decision and that it is prudent to end the protracted and uncertain class action process." Perhaps they can make all that money back though through The Undertaker's latest social media adventure. As a young and hip man myself, there's nothing I like more than sitting down with a glass of port and checking out the latest bants, vids, and memes on TikTok. It seems that The Undertaker is the same, because he now has officially joined TikTok just days after WWE announced that he'd be joining Cameo to help promote his appearance at this Sunday's Survivor Series. His first post features The Undertaker and his wife Michelle McCool, with Michelle wearing a rubber Undertaker mask and pretending to be her husband in the hashtag Undertaker Challenge, which I'm sure will be the latest rad ting with the kids. Head on over to his channel for some more tiki-toki goodness. I bet it will be jokes, memes. How do you do, fellow kids? And now it's time for a review of last night's episode of SmackDown in about 5 minutes. Thank you for being awesome pledge hammers on Patreon, The Rocket, Dan Van Sky, and the Snapdragon King, Ryo Odonte. The show started with the Street Profits plugging Survivor Series, much like they used to plug Raw when they were the NXT Tag Team Champions. Okay, fine, it's a go-home show, and then Big E interrupts, and the three have a pretty good back and forth about their upcoming match with the New Day on Sunday. But Big E then reveals that Woods and Kingston are here tonight. You know, after their emotional farewell they had about a month ago. They then waltz down to the ring, without Big E, I might add, despite Big E being, you know, right there, and then they cut a relatively unfunny promo on the Street Profits before they're interrupted by Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, King Corbin, and Ziggler and Rude. After an unconvincing bait and switch, the Street Profits came out to make it an 8-man tag, which the Street Profits won after Sami Zayn was tagged in without his consent, and then he was hit with a spinebuster and a frog splash, and there's your Intercontinental Champion, everyone. The one person on that 4-man team who holds a title, and he's the one who takes the pin. Sure. Alright, backstage an angry Zayn runs into Daniel Bryan, who pushes him over. Alright. Sweet build to a feud after Survivor Series, guys. Definitely not the GM Adam Pearce then announces the final member of the men's Survivor Series team, Otis. Okay. Didn't he lose to Seth Rollins in a qualifying match? Hey, do you remember at Hell in a Cell when Tucker turned on him and cost him the Money in the Bank briefcase? You'd think he'd be more upset about that. Definitely not the GM Adam Pearce then reveals to Natalya that he could also pick one member of the SmackDown women's team. Why one person? We'll never know. And he picked Bayley. Natalya still gets a third chance to qualify though, in a singles match against Tamina, which she won in about 2 minutes. Bayley called herself the captain of the team, and I really really don't care about these Survivor Series matches. Up next was Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre having a contract signing. Sure, have all the Raw stars on, why not? In a genius little move though, Reigns sat himself at the head of the contract signing table. I see what you did there. The pair cut very natural promos on each other without mics, which only added to the real feel of the promos. I was already excited for this match, and I am still very excited. Nobody got put through a table this time, and I'm really glad they're holding off on the physicality between these two until the show tomorrow. With that being said, the camera cuts during these promos were obnoxious. Nothing is happening. They're both just sitting there talking. You don't need dramatic cuts between a wide shot and each individual expression on their face every few seconds when their expression hasn't changed. God! Also, Michael Cole tried his best to sabotage my excitement for this match by telling us this is about bragging rights. Nothing kills my excitement more than being reminded that this show means precisely nothing. After this was the blow-off, hopefully, between Seth Rollins and Murphy. Murphy entered accompanied by the Mysterios, so yeah, Rollins versus Mysterios is still kind of going on. And after Murphy held Ray and Dominic back and said, "I've got this," I thought this would be Murphy's big coming out party. This would be Murphy's big win, the time where WWE tells you to watch this man because he is a future star. And I was sort of right. Seth Rollins absolutely dominated Murphy for this match. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing. Every time Murphy mounted some offense, Rollins shut it down. He beat up Murphy, he beat up Ray, then he beat up Dominic, and then he beat up Murphy some more. There was a great spot where Murphy tried to climb back through the ropes, and Rollins hit the stomp through the middle rope, but Murphy managed to get his foot on the bottom rope from the pin. Murphy then eventually came back, hitting about 17 running knees, because that's all he knows apparently, before hitting a Murphy's Law and pinning Seth Rollins clean. Nice! Murphy beat Rollins, that's great! Would have been nice if he could have hit, I don't know, maybe some moves through the match, but Murphy won! Good for Murphy! Here's hoping he continues to be treated like a star going forward. I'm not gonna hold my breath though, especially with the way this segment ended. As Murphy and the Mysterios all gathered in the ring and began to celebrate, Sasha Banks' music hits. We're reminded it's boss time on SmackDown, and then it cuts to an ad break. You don't get a celebration, Murphy. Look at Banks. She was in The Mandalorian, don't you know? After the ad break, it's Banks and Raw Women's Champion Asuka, who will be facing each other at Survivor Series with absolutely no bill. Granted, the match will probably be great because it's Asuka and Banks, but they didn't exactly make me excited for it with this promo segment. Also, why did Drew and Roman need a contract signing, but Asuka and Banks didn't? Why do I even question these things anymore? Asuka then started saying other wrestlers' catchphrases for some reason. And then Banks said she was gonna win, and then Asuka said she wasn't ready for Asuka. And then Carmella attacked Banks again, while Asuka just watched her do it. What a baby face. And then finally it's time for the main event of the Go Home show for Survivor Series. It's Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan, with absolutely no stakes or any relevance to Survivor Series at all. But this was great. After promos from them back earlier in the night, and a video package reliving Jay's heel turn and attack on Bryan, there was some pretty significant heat between the two. And the match was incredibly well worked, with Bryan's back and kidneys getting worked over for the majority of the match, even being put through the announce table. While there wasn't anything overly flashy or there weren't huge spots, I really bought into Jay's beatdown of Bryan, so that when Bryan eventually fired up and came back, I was really into it. It's almost as if Bryan and Jay are really good wrestlers or something. And the finish managed to protect both of them too, with Bryan only just managing to roll Jay up for the win. The match felt very even, like on another day Jay could have won, which we've already seen he can. But this cemented that win over Bryan wasn't really a fluke, even though he lost this one. It felt like Jay belonged alongside Bryan, and they've done a fantastic job making him feel like a top player on SmackDown. But no time to think about that, it's Drew versus Roman on Sunday and Undertaker's final farewell after 30 years. Don't forget to tune into Survivor Series. Okay, thank you for watching, bye! That was sudden. So that was the show. Let me know what you thought in the comments and head on over to our Twitter as we brought back polls to grade the show. 68.9% of you thought this show was good or excellent, but just like last week, I've got to go against the grain here. I agree with Pablo here, who said First half was bad, second half was pretty good. Immo. The problem is that this is a go-home show for supposedly one of your big four shows, and despite having promo segments between the champions, I'm not looking forward to the show any more than I was before. The good stuff on this show was really good, but it was also the stuff that wasn't really about Survivor Series. It's almost as if Survivor Series gets in the way of potentially great stories and is an obstacle that WWE and the fans have to get through every November because brand warfare doesn't mean anything. If you're gonna keep Survivor Series, build to it properly. This felt really underwhelming for a go-home show, and for that I have to give it a poor rating, 2 out of 4. It's Survivor Jams tomorrow, All Authority versus Team Lukewarm, and every time one team gets a prediction wrong while the other gets it right, one member of that team is banished and eliminated from the stream, and they must watch from the Losers Lounge over on WrestleTalk. They're not watching Survivor Series, no, they're watching everyone else react to the show. It's Survivor Series live reactions. So press the video on the right now to set your reminder for that live stream, and press the video below that to watch Laurie Blake's latest explained video looking at the entire career of The Undertaker. Trust me, it's really good. While you're there, subscribe to Parts Fun Known. It's also really good. Subscribe here for daily wrestling news videos. I've been Corporate Chopper. Jam that jam.